Our weekly week is Fall Panicum, but Darren, here's my question. Why do they call this Fall Panicum when it's a summer annual?
All right, well, how many grasses don't start until the fall? I mean, it starts later than other grass plants. That's why it's got the name fall, in my opinion anyway. It's one of the later grasses that comes.
And so it really doesn't start in the fall. It's just that you will a lot of times see it in the fall, and it's going to look better than some of those spring grasses.
Yeah, and you're going to see it more in the fall because you know what? Our pre-emerge herbicides actually have pretty good activity on it, but they peter out by the time Fall Panicum comes, and then you've got Fall Panicum escapes late in the season. The cool thing too with this weed is, a guy say, well, how do you identify it? You know, it's got a hairy ligule like many of the other grass plants do, but you look at the leaves, it has hairs on the undersides of the leaves, not on the top side, and then later on as that plant gets bigger, it loses those hairs on the bottom of the leaves. So it's strange. So you look at it and you say, well, it's hairy on the underside of the leaf. Wait a second, this big plant isn't. I don't know why that happens, but it does.
All right, anytime we have a plant that's going to come up a little later in the season, crop canopy is your #1 weed killer. So do everything possible to raise a great crop. Other than that, like Darren said, the pre's can hold it back. It's just they kind of run out of steam later in the year. So you may consider using a pre-emerge herbicide, something like an Outlook, Dual, Harness, Surpass, after you've planted and after the corn has even emerged. So what you could do is do some of the pre early, some of the pre a little bit later to extend your residual later in the season. Otherwise, Roundup's good on it, Accent's not too bad in corn. You've got all those grass killers in soybeans like Select Max. And once you go to wheat, we generally don't have a big problem because wheat is a crop that thrives early in the spring and it's done by the time Fall Panicum is usually getting going.
That's all the time we have for this week's weed, but Iron Talk is coming up next.